Morning. This is my first video for my new YouTube channel, Viking Power. And some of you guys might be wondering, what is the story with that name, Viking Power? Well, it's kind of a long story. It goes back to me watching The World's Strongest Man. And there was an old power lifter, Sven Carlson, and he used to perform these like incredible strongman lifts, and afterwards he would come in and he'd go Viking Power or something like that. And I just thought it was hilarious that how he'd say that. And I'm of Swedish descent. My grandmother was from Sweden and came here when she was like 17 through Nova Scotia, and my grandma Teresa on my mom's side, and I'm Irish on the other side mostly. And so I kind of thought that was a cool Twitter handle and Instagram handle, so I've been using variations of the Viking Power for many years now. It's kind of stuck. That's kind of who I am, so I'm gonna stick with it. My name's Kent, and you are in my kitchen, as you can see, and this is what I thought about calling it was Kent's Kitchen Table, Uncle Kent's Kitchen Table. And I want to welcome you guys all to my kitchen, and hope you enjoy some of the talks we have in this place. My wife teases me about Illinois and how in Illinois people sit around the kitchen table for everything. And my mom used to do the same thing when I was young. She'd say, "Come on, sit down at the kitchen table." And this kitchen table was my mom's that I have right there. And she used to invite us to sit at it, and she'd smoke her cigarettes, and she'd find something to talk with us about. I am a kitchen person. My great room and my kitchen, they blended together. We built this house. We decided we wanted that because that's where people do a lot of living. And so what's this video going to be about? It's going to be about life. It's going to be about a lot of things that we do in life. And I'm not going to limit myself to like just one particular topic. So everything comes up at the kitchen table. All kinds of things come up at the kitchen table. So all kinds of things are going to come up in my videos. A little bit about me. I've been a teacher for 30 years, 31 years, something like that. I can't remember. I've been a teacher for a long time, high school teacher. I'm an English teacher. Big fan of literature in particular, English and American Lit. And I've been a lifelong reader as well. I'm a student, still at this age. I'm a student every day. Someone who's valued and tried to acquire wisdom and knowledge through my whole career, through my whole life. For me, teaching's not just a job, it's a way of life. I feel like I was called to be a teacher by God. He put me in this spot. I'm a teacher to my kids. I'm a father of four sons. I've been married for over 30 years. I'm Uncle Kent to a whole lot of people, and I've been called that my whole life. I was an uncle at age 1, so it's kind of a thing that's stuck with me, being an uncle. I'm older. I'm 54 years old. I've experienced some life, and in our culture we do a lot of phasing out of older people, which is really, really foolish. Older people are living history. I still value those people. The people who may not have a lot of knowledge and a lot of book knowledge and things of that sort, but they were present in a particular time period. I tell my kids that all the time, my students and my own kids. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. And the story that you're hearing now or you're not hearing right now is really important. And it may not be true. It may not be true at all. So having older people as living history is very important. Tapping into what they remember. And so that's something that's important to why I'm doing what I'm doing with this video. So as I mentioned, I'm a father, I'm an uncle. I got a lot of people looking up to me and depending on me. And that's one of the reasons why I want to do these videos, is I want to spread the knowledge, spread the truth as much as possible. I've been a poet my whole life. I've been writing poems. I've been writing of some sort ever since I was a young child. And if you are an artist of some sort, you train yourself and you train your eyesight to see things that other people miss. And that's something that I pride myself that I've always done, is I've always seen things that other people miss. And that's really where all of my poetry comes from, is from seeing things in the world, and then I write it down. So those are a few of the things that give me the impetus to start this whole thing. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm finally doing it. Have some time in this quarantine to sit down and do these types of things. So place I want to start with you guys is I want to start with a poem I just wrote this rather recently, just the other day, the 10th. And this poem is about these times we're living in. These are crazy times. Not gonna act like, oh, this is business as usual. It's not business as usual. This is a different time. Read your history. There's nothing like this. Isn't like the Spanish flu. It's not as deadly, but this worldwide reach into people's lives and this control, global control of everybody. It's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like it. So a lot of people are stressing right now, as you should be. You should be stressing. Stress is a part of life. If you're feeling stressed, well, welcome to the world. And that's kind of what this poem is all about. And so I want to read it to you. Just bear with me here. I hope you like it. If you don't, sorry. But it's called Life is a Battle. I wrote it on the 10th of April. Life is a battle. We're born fighting for air, in tears. The nipple we suck for survival. Screams we wail for care from our mother and father protectors, those on earth and those in heaven. It never changes, this fight with germs and bacteria, predators and rivals of all sorts, human and animal, physical and spiritual, flesh and demon. Time makes no difference. Childhood and youth, middle age, old man, keep up your fists. Protect your jaw from a knockout blow aimed at your chin. Head on a swivel for multiple attacks. Watch the shot for your legs to take you down, to get your back. Guard your neck from snake-like arms and a rear naked choke. If you can't find joy or peace and love in the midst of this battle, then you'll have no peace or joy and love in the midst of this life. Now, you probably can figure out why I wanted to read that poem in this particular video, is because it's about the times that we're living in. This is people like to use that word Orwellian. Well, this is Orwellian. This goes in some ways further than George Orwell ever envisioned, and it's something I know a lot about. I've done a lot of reading and research into George Orwell for many years. A very influential writer on me. Not just 1984, Animal Farm, Ode to Catalonia. I just read that recently. Lot of stuff. Some of his essays, his letters, those things. Christopher Hitchens, I was reading some. He was kind of an expert on Orwell. God rest his soul. he probably wouldn't appreciate that. The very famous atheist. But anyway, these are Orwellian times, and it's scary for a lot of people. It is. But here's the deal: are some of the things that we're facing unprecedented and new, and they've never been faced before? Yes, that is true. But a lot of it isn't. The fact that life is a battle is nothing new. Everyone is in a fight for survival, animal and human. It's the nature of our life on Earth. That is what it is. If you want to cloud your judgment with Hollywood and the things that they say and build up a fantasy in your head of what life is, well, go ahead. And don't be shocked if you're miserable and unhappy. But the fact of it is that life is a struggle. Life is a battle. It is struggle for survival. And if you can't find peace and joy and love in the midst of that, you probably won't find it in life. If you ever think that you can just rest and just take it easy now, well, no, you can't. People spend their whole lives, planning for retirement. And what happens when you get old and you get ready to retire? Well, your body starts to fall apart. Your body's reminding you don't have much longer. So this life, you want to dream of all those years. You're gonna have a bunch of time to play golf, but then you can't play golf because your lower back is killing you. Well, it's life just reminding you that it's a struggle. You're only gonna be here a short time, and there's bigger things like your family, your community, the next generation that's depending on you, and all sorts of things. Now, here's one thing I want to share with you all is that I'm not a pessimist. Do I have a dark view of the world sometimes? Yeah, absolutely, because I think it's true. That's what it is. The world is dark sometimes. But you can't be a person of faith, and I am. I'm Catholic. No apologies for that. Proud of that. You can't be a person of faith and be a complete pessimist, because the message is hopeful, and I think the message for humanity in the midst of the struggle, there's always hope. Look how long we've survived. Look how well we've done in so many ways. Look at this kitchen that I have. Look at the food that I have in my fridge. The beautiful refrigerator and freezer that just froze a bunch of freezer beef that I just bought. We sometimes want to look at all the negatives in the world, but there's so many positives around us. And here's the thing about this coronavirus and all this stuff that's going on right now, and I don't want to get into the science of it, but is it exaggerated? Absolutely. Is it a test run by global powers to see how much they can get away with? Probably. Not gonna lie to you. Is this a power grab? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But one thing I've learned about world government and giant totalitarian regimes, and there's a lot of that in the world right now. They're polite totalitarian regimes, all in the sake of justice and protection and safety. You got to read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. His world is like a world of where we have everything. We have our drugs, we have Soma, but it's a totalitarian state, and there's no freedom, and people are cut off from the past, and old people drop over dead because they're designed to drop over dead that way. That's a great book. And that's more of the world we live in right now. Our time's going to go back to normal, probably, but hopefully this time that we have where people are isolated, we start to think about some stuff. And one of those things that I've learned is that bureaucracies and governments appear to be extremely powerful, and there's no way that you can oppose them. There's nothing you can do. And to some degree that is true. It's hard to change a system by yourself. It's one person. But when you get one person added to another person, well, it's then pretty surprising what you can do. I start off every school year in my class with an essay by Alexander Solzhenitsyn called "Live Not by Lies." And to me, it's the best way to start my school year, and that essay's always with me. And in that essay, he talks about people in the height of the Soviet grip on freedom, and he was one of those people that the Soviets feared because he was an individual. And he spent time in the Gulag. If you know anything about Solzhenitsyn, you know that. Well, in this essay, he is chiding the whole Russian people. And he's saying, yeah, you can't change a whole system by yourself, but you're responsible for the system that you have. And the way that you're responsible for that system is by participating in that system. And he says there's a real simple and powerful way that you can take back control. And it's simple. Just live for the truth. Do not participate in the lies. And that's a simple thing. Don't participate in the lies. And that's why free speech right now is the most important thing that we have. And we have to fight for it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm making these videos, is because what you see on the news is not the truth. What you see on the news is fake. I've seen that my whole adult life. I've been calling out fake news for 30 years. 30 years. When I read 1984, my sophomore year of college, and at that point I realized they're lying to us. I just didn't know how much. The media's been lying to us. It's propaganda, 100%. We know that. That's why people don't watch it. They don't waste their time, because it is a waste of time, and it's a whole lot of mind control. Well, don't participate in it. I just cut my cable. I love sports. I love my DirecTV. I loved it because NFL season ticket, MLB season ticket, man, that's basically what I watched. But I said, I'm done, man, wasting money. And I'm done with the constant repetition of news and sports news over and over and over. What's that about? It's about controlling the way you think. Well, Solzhenitsyn said, if you want to change the system, well, just don't participate in it. And that's one of the reasons why I cut my cable. That's why I'm on YouTube and I do those types of things. Tell the truth. If you want free speech, well then speak freely. When? Right now. Right now. Don't participate in the lies. I want to wrap up this video for now, and the thing I want to tell you is that I want to remind you of the Tank Man in China. Fascinating story. If you haven't seen, go watch. There was a Frontline documentary. It's really long, kind of dry, but really, really good. It is about 2-3 hours, and I used to show parts of that to my students. And in that documentary, it talks about Tank Man, and not just the incident of him at Tiananmen Square standing up to the tanks without weapons, and the people protesting had no weapons. They just had voices. And believe me, I'm all for the Second Amendment. I'm all for the Second Amendment. I live in the country. We're all for the Second Amendment out here. Guns and ammo. We value those things unabashedly. NRA, good deal. Good deal. I support you. You're fighting for our rights because, to protect ourselves. But you need more than guns. You need a voice. You need a voice. You need a mind that wants to be free. A mind that isn't free and a voice that isn't free that has guns, well, is just a slave with guns. A slave with the ability to protect themselves or harm somebody else. Free your minds. Free your voice. Use it. Tiananmen Square, that one little guy, did he change things? Yes, absolutely. He influenced all of Eastern Europe falling apart. He influenced it. They said, if that guy can stand up, the people in Poland said, if that guy can stand up, well, I can stand up. And they did. And what happened to the bureaucracy that I said is essentially weak? The bureaucracy crumbled. It crumbled. And what happened in China? Well, they made concessions. China's on a ticking clock. Everyone thinks they're all powerful. No, they're not. They're gonna crumble from within. You can't oppress your people forever. You can't be a leader and beat your soldiers. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna take you out. If you want to be a leader, well, treat the people that you're leading with dignity and respect, and they'll fight to the death for you. Well, in China, you have a whole system that's beating people down and giving little treats to a few people. But there's a lot of starving and poor people there. That system's gonna crumble. It's a matter of time. Communism crumbles everywhere. Socialism crumbles everywhere. Why? Because it attacks people's basic freedoms. The things that build society. What builds society? That's the thing I kind of want to end with. What builds society? Well, freedom, truth, faith. The The word culture is founded in the cult. That's a Russell Kirk reference. It's founded in the cult, the belief system. And I don't care what it is. You can't find a culture that has any great influence that isn't founded in the cult, in the language of the people. You know, and what else builds nations and communities? Family. You know, the great Thomas Jefferson purchased Louisiana Purchase and sent out Lewis and Clark out to the frontier to explore the territory and then give incentives, financial incentives for people to settle the frontier, free and cheap land, so they can own a little piece of the earth. Go read a letter from Thomas Jefferson to James Madison when he's in Paris. He talks about the small landowner as the most precious part of the state. And what do communists want to take away? The right for you to own property. Well, what do you got right now? Well, there's still a lot of landholders in the United States, a lot of homeowners. And what are we doing right now? We're in our homes. You know, this isn't, you know, is it a violation of our rights in many ways? Yeah, some people feel that way, but it's also an opportunity. Spend time with the people that matter most, your family. And that's what I've been doing here. Spend a lot of time with my family, quality time, you know, praying more, you know, saying our Fathers, Hail Marys, you know, praying a lot more, praying directly to God, praying for family and friends and people in need, a community. And that's the thing I want to encourage you guys to do right now. You can't change the whole system, but you can change yourself. You can have influence on the people around you. And if you do that and you put that together with a whole lot of people, well, that's when change really happens. That's grassroots change. Change yourself. Change yourself. Change those people around you. So in these tough times and this craziness that we're dealing with, turn into those important things. You know, turn into truth. Turn into your faith. Turn into your family, your community. Turn into your tribe. God bless y'all.